Hey everybody, John Schumacher here with New Wave Healthcare, where health professionals come to learn business and learn marketing. Today my guest is Larry Gutman, and Larry is the co-creator of the Rehab TheraX app, a mobile application that helps physical therapists easily put together home exercise programs on the fly on their iPad. So it's a cool app, and that's what we're here to discuss today is applications, in particular, the process that you have to go through in order to create an app from your idea to actually bringing it to the market. And my guest, Larry, today has done that successfully and is doing very, very well in the physical therapy application market. So, Larry, thank you so much for your time today. Go ahead and just start out by just telling us a little bit about your personal background, and then we'll
Thank you,
jump
John.
into your business.
Absolutely. Thank you, John, for having me. It's a pleasure to be on with you on this show. And yeah, I'm currently live in New Jersey with my family, two kids, my wife, originally from Brooklyn, New York. And now I work in the city, in New York City, for a hospital, as well as doing part-time home care and seeing patients within their home. And yeah, that's about it. I
Right?
started this app recently, and the idea came a couple of years back. It took a little time for me to develop it and really find that spark. And I finally went through with it, as well as I have a couple of partners as well. And yeah, RehabTheraX is now available.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you really saw that and took action, and it's really neat. So tell our listeners a little bit about the actual functionality of the app and why it's so helpful for physical therapists.
Absolutely. RehabTheraX, it's basically a program, application for the iPad, and it allows the user to generate a quick and easy but personalized exercise on the go. It's for the therapist, either a PT or an OT, as well as some doctors are using it, orthopedists, and athletic trainers are using it as well. And you're basically creating a personalized exercise program for your patient, and it takes seconds to create. You could email it to them, which is a nice functionality of the app, because a lot of people are now on mobile devices and they're able to take these exercise programs with them on the go. So it makes it nice and convenient for patients, clients that are always moving around, and whether it's at their job, on vacation, anywhere they might be, they'll always have it with them, as long as they have a smartphone.
Right. Right. Yeah. And the mobile app, industry and healthcare is blowing up right now.
It is
So
blowing up.
you're in a good place, and it's awesome
Absolutely.
that you're taking action and rocking on with that. So how is your app different? I know there's a few other apps that I think allow home exercise programs. I mean, is there specific features that kind of you feel are separated you from the others, or what are your
Yeah,
thoughts on that?
absolutely. That was, one of the biggest things when you're trying to get into the app world. You need to distinct yourself from the others, and we did a lot of market research. We looked through all of the Apple Store, the App Store apps regarding exercises, as well as Google Play, and you kind of have to find that piece that really stands you out from the rest. And there weren't many apps out there, even though they have the exercise component. Um, they weren't in depth, and they also didn't have that emailing capability. There are some apps out there that have that video component. What
Hmm.
we try to establish is to create an app that is easy to use. Uh, Therapists don't often have a lot of time at the end of their sessions to, come up with an exercise program. So they need something quick and easy. And being a therapist, that's what I found the most the most useful part of it is that you want something that you can quickly create for your patients. So the easeability, we have over 250 exercises that are illustrated as well as have easy to read instructions for the patients. That email component is big. A lot of them just have that print component where we have that email component. Also, having the ability to view it as a PDF file on your smartphone after, so if the patient has received your email with the exercise programs, they could just view it right on their smartphone. So that being able to take it on the go is the premise of the app. It's
Right.
It's RehabTheRx exercises on the go.
Right. Right. And did you? I know HIPAA is a big part of kind of what we do as therapists, that we need to be mindful if we're innovating a new technology. Was that something you had to dig into and learn about first before you did the email component?
Yeah, absolutely. We had attorneys on staff that kind of reviewed the terms and when you're putting an app onto the App Store, you have to have a terms and conditions component to it. Mm-hmm. And so we definitely we had attorneys on staff to kind of make sure everything was all the I's were dotted, the T's crossed. Each app is made specifically for one therapist. Basically, when the therapist downloads it, it's on their iPad. It's really made for that one person to use it. And so when you establish, when you download it, you're actually putting your profile, you're entering your data, your personal data, what you want your email to be. And so basically the onus is on the actual user to make sure that the passcode is on the iPad.
Right. Okay. And when you say on staff with your lawyers, I mean, did you just had to hire somebody to look it over for you? Is that what you meant?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about. You talked a little bit already about market research, but how did you come up with the idea? Were you inspired by like a frustration that you were having within your own practice, or how did you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I am part-time home care therapist, and even though the app can be applicable to any setting, where it truly started was when I was in the home care setting. I felt like I always had to wait a day or two before my patient can get an exercise program, and I like to provide my patients with their own homework, so to speak, after an initial eval or even after several sessions. So there wasn't really anything out there. I had to get back to my home base or to my other job where we had access to home exercise programs and create one. But by that time, it was 3 days later. And oftentimes, the computer-based programs don't have that email capability. So it's really you're printing out forms that now you have to travel back after a couple of days, and then the patient receives their homework assignment. So I felt frustrated, you're right, in that sense, and it kept festering, and I think it was it got to the point where I was looking through the App Store through I currently own only an iPad, so I don't have a Droid-based system, but so I would look through the App Store, and there was really nothing out there that took the place of a computer-based program within a hospital or a clinic, and converted it to on the go. Right. And so that's where the idea came up.
That's good, yeah, and it's a reminder to us all that to look for problems. I mean, often new innovations and new things come from problems that we face in our own careers or our own professions. So instead of shying away from problems, we often need to be looking at them and saying, okay, what can we do about this? And the mobile application market it's a booming market. So it's a perfect platform to start solving problems on, and that's kind of what you sounds like you did. So kudos to you.
Definitely. Thank you.
Touch on. I know you talked about it a little bit, but touch a little bit more on how you did your market research.
Basically, we went through different within the App Store, or if you're going through Google Play, you're basically in the search box. You're picking keywords. That's how apps operate. You enter a couple of keywords, and then you have different apps pop up that have those keywords associated with them. So, I would put in physical therapy, exercises, let's say physiotherapy for those that are in England and Australia, occupational therapy, because our app not only is convenient for physical therapists but also occupational therapists. So we just wanted to go through the gamut, make sure that we weren't overlooking anything, and really put in a thorough search. So any keywords, whether it's my app or if you're thinking of creating your own app for any other healthcare associated app, that's what you want to look for. You want to look for specific keywords.
Right. Right. So you just go into iTunes, punch in a keyword, look and see what the competition's got out there, and decide where you might be able to do something different. Did you subscribe to other apps to kind of check out what they were doing, or did you just go ahead and saw that there really wasn't something you were looking for and just went after it, or how did you do
No,
that?
absolutely. You have to subscribe to other apps. You need to look through your competition. You have to, even if it costs money, you need to purchase the apps and make sure that you want to create an app that stands out, and you want to take the flaws of different apps and make it positive in your app.
Gotcha.
And there are a lot of great apps out there, so you also want to look at the positives of other apps, and that's what we did.
Right. Perfect. So you checked out the competition, got your ideas together, and say, you know what, I think there's a few places to improve on what's out there. And so then what did you do? I mean, you were excited, you had this idea, you did some market research on iTunes. I mean, how did you get the process started from there?
So we sat down. You want to figure out what features your app, particularly your app, what you want in your app. Put it down on paper, kind of see what the functionality is of your app. And then you want to simultaneously kind of research different developers that can, unless you're going to develop it yourself, you need to hire developers that are trained, and so that's exactly what we did. We went on Google, researched different app developers, whether it was within the United States. Don't forget, app developers can be in-house, and they could outsource as well. So you have to decide what would you prefer? What is it that's the most important to you? And for us, at least, it was to have that face-to-face time with our developers. So in the end, we chose developers that were in New York City. They didn't outsource, so everything was done in-house. We had really easy access to them. If we needed a meeting, it was easily set up. So you have to weigh the pros and cons. It could be a little bit more expensive, so you have to figure that into your budget, doing the in-house, where if it's outsourced, generally you'll find the pricing to be a little bit less for that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you outsourced everything again, like a lot of people are doing, and chose to go in-house because you felt more comfortable communicating, directly with people, and that they weren't going to be sending it off to some people you weren't comfortable with or didn't didn't know how to get a hold of and those kind of things.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
We definitely, in meeting with them, and the one piece that we were comfortable with because we were able to meet with them in New York City, even if it were a team, let's say in Florida or in California, that would be a little harder to actually have face-to-face time. So we chose a team in New York City, very happy with them,
yeah.
and the way everything turned out.
How long does it usually take to create something like that, like from start to finish? I guess it could vary, but for you, was it a long process that you had to go through in order to? I mean, what did it look like? Did it take a long time, and what was the back and forth like? Were you constantly communicating with these guys, and how did that go?
Yeah, absolutely. It, from inception, from the idea, when I truly put my mind to it and we went for it, was in June of 2012. But with everything going on, just preparing, researching, the preliminary research of whether or not there are such apps out there, and then doing other research in finding the development team. Once we found the development team, which was, I believe, in November of 2012, it took from then to February, middle of February, to come out on the App Store. So I would say around three and a half months.
Okay.
So it is a fairly, I mean, it's quick. 3 months is fairly quick, but we put in a lot of time, and again, face-to-face time, meeting with them, discussing over the internet on Skype and phone calls, emails. It was a pretty extensive process, but it was truly a great experience. Definitely worthwhile.
Right, I'm sure a learning experience too. So, would you say that's part of the success you've had is because you took so much time? Because I know sometimes they say just get it done and get running, and that's kind of what I tend to do is kind of run really fast. But did you feel that was because you took your time, because you did the research that helped you at this point?
Well, I mean, in a way, yes, but also one of my regrets is that we didn't do this earlier because we feel so strongly about our product, and we've gotten such positive feedback on Rehab TheraX, and a lot of people are using it all over the world. Australia is our #2 market,
Nice.
and in some ways, I feel like we should have done this even earlier, so that it would help. But because we started it now and just going through all of that research, preliminary research, dealing with the development team, it was such a neat process to go through with my partners, that yeah, I'm just excited about it. It's only been 10 months out on the market, and it's got really positive reviews, and
That's so cool. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
so happy for you. That's a neat thing to see your creation actually come to life and people love it and are using it, and it's just the best feeling in the world. So
absolutely. Yeah, I'll tell you, the neat process was actually going through every stage with the development team, because you get to learn how an app is created.
Mm,
There are 3 stages to creating an app. It's basically the wireframing,
hmm
where it's a basic skeleton of the functionality of your app, and not including the color scheme and the layout. That comes next. So you're basically creating just the functionality piece, how the the user experience, so to
Yep.
speak, you're creating, and then once that process is done, we have several meetings. Then the whole design portion of it comes into play. So you're choosing which colors you want to put into the app, the layout,
Yep.
things like that. So it's really neat. After the design phase comes the actual build, And so you're seeing it right in front of your eyes come to life. And you're going back and forth, obviously, on a weekly basis as the beta testing is going on. So you're seeing it before the public sees it.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's almost like
Yeah.
watching a small baby grow or something, you know.
Yeah,
It's like that, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. That's really fun. So, what were some of the you went through this process? I mean, what were some of the challenges that you faced going through this whole app creation process?
Well, I feel like being new in creating an app for the first time, you're always going to have challenges, but it's the dedication that you have, the team members that you have. I mean, I can't say enough how important team members are to, and the communication between us and the goals that we set prior to creating such an app. So yeah, you're divvying up the work, but it's 100% all the time. You're researching, you're making sure you're not overlooking anything, and it really does take a team effort into creating something like that. So, yeah.
Right. So, if you don't mind, why don't you tell us a little bit about your team and who you had to get put together, if you don't mind.
No,
I
not at
think a lot
all.
of people tend to want to go it alone. I know that's one of my things was I always wanted to get everything done myself, and it does get draining, and you do have to have a life, but you have to the power of a team, if you can synergize that team, can be huge. So can you, if you don't mind, share who you partnered with or what you had to do in order to the team that you're saying, like what does that team look like? What are the members and their roles and all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So, besides myself, we have Tracy Maltz, who is a great therapist and friend, and she does exactly what I do. We pretty much share in all of the work, as well as Scott Hanauer, who is currently a senior at Maryland University,
Mm-hmm.
also studying in the healthcare field,
Uh-huh.
and he happens to be my brother-in-law. So he definitely played a big part in terms of the internet aspect, the social media aspect. He has that young mindset, so to speak. So I would say a lot of the work has been done with Tracy and I, and Scott has definitely put in his whole internet social media aspect to it, as well as we needed an artist as well to do all the drawings for us. And that was Ellen Hanauer, and she's an amazing artist, and we were so happy to have her on board with us, and she put in an incredible amount of work to create all the images for us, as well as our attorneys and the development team,
Wow. Yeah.
technical team.
So
Um,
that's awesome.
I'm going
That's
to give them a plug. It's
Go
Two
ahead.
Bulls. twobulls.com. They were the team that we used.
That was
They were spectacular.
the developers.
Yeah, the actual developers.
So it's twobulls.com.
Yeah, two
Perfect.
hyphen bulls.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, so how did you? I mean, you got a pretty good team there. That's awesome that you're able to recruit that many people into your vision and everything. I mean, did you guys start out knowing each other, or how did you put that together?
Well, I pretty much know everybody on my team. I had Tracy come on board, who I currently work with at a New York hospital, and obviously Scott is my brother-in-law, and my mother-in-law is Ellen Hanauer. She was the artist, and Two Bulls. We actually, researched them and found them.
Yeah, keep it in the family then. That's awesome, man.
Absolutely.
You had some good peeps around you before you started, so they're like,
Well, I'll tell you, if you have it in the family, they're going to give you 100%.
yep. And hopefully you can trust them, right?
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Wholeheartedly.
So, So that's awesome, man. Thanks for kind of painting the picture there, because I know a lot of people are wondering, how do I get a team, or what do I need, and those kind of things are important. And that, I think that paints a pretty good picture as to what you needed and what you gathered to make your vision happen. What about how did you share it? So you got it built, you outsourced it with these what is it, twobulls.com. These guys created a nice app for you, and it was ready to go. And after you released it, how did you spread the word about your app? Because obviously there's so much out there. If you don't start making noise and getting attention, that's just no one's
Yeah,
going to find it.
absolutely. So before it even came out, we started doing a lot of the social media outlets. So Facebook was huge, LinkedIn. So we started a Rehab Their X page on Facebook, and before the app was on iTunes, we started marketing it so that we can start raising awareness to it, trying to hypen it up as well, let the public know what's coming out soon. And when it came out, obviously, we blasted it again on Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as we hosted an event, a launch party, so to speak, and we invited therapists, that we knew around the New York City area, both PTs and OTs, as well as family, just to get that support. And yeah, it was a big event. It was well received, and he,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what we did to start. I mean, obviously we're doing a lot more now. Email blasts are pretty big, compiling different email addresses from schools, different PT programs, OT programs, and just blasting them.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're doing, so basically you did Facebook. You said you did Facebook ads. You did some of that.
That's right.
You hosted an event where you basically showed the world what you're going to do,
Yeah.
and then you also blasted, would you cold email a few PT schools to kind of bring awareness to what, the professors there, or what did that look
Yeah, exactly. To the professors, to the clinical coordinators of the schools, and we actually emailed every single school in the country, notifying them that it's
like? Wow.
coming out, or it is out, and we had a couple of promotions, associated with it. We put the app on sale initially, just to let the public know. And yeah, just emailing on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
And in October, we actually went to our first conference, the NYPTA conference, which is the New York chapter of the American Physical Therapy Association. They host a conference every single year, and we got a table there, promoted our product. It was so well received, a lot of positive feedback, and even there were a lot of student therapists that come to that conference, and they even felt that it would help them within their clinical experience, within their learning at school. And actually, we just found out that a lot of schools now are providing their therapists with iPads upon enrollment. And so that's a nice way to get the students involved as well, where they can start learning how to create exercise programs, and then create them while they're on their clinical affiliations.
Love it. That's awesome, dude. I
Yeah,
love that. That's so cool. Yeah, you're doing it right, man. I mean, you've created a product that brings value, and then you're standing up on the rooftops and shouting about it. People
absolutely.
forget about that second part sometimes. Is that it's just it's such a noisy world these days. And social
Absolutely.
media, marketing. It's getting tougher and tougher to stand out. And I think what you did was brilliant, especially the emailing the schools. And I think a lot of people would forget to do that. So
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So
Yeah, the marketing piece is definitely a huge aspect of, you can have a great app, great product, but if people don't see it or don't know about it, that's where you may have an issue, and that's why marketing it is
it's huge.
really
Yeah.
needed. It's huge.
So what would you do differently? It's knowing what you know now, and you went back to the beginning of your journey, and
Yeah.
you said to the Larry back then, like, Larry, you should not do this. What would that be?
In all honesty, I would say, because, and like I said earlier, the app is, we feel the app is so huge and it's so needed within our rehab community that I have that regret. I had this idea a long time ago, and the problem, I never went through with it until last June, and I wish that I had done this a lot sooner,
Right.
because I feel like it would be well received, and it would even be that much better.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Get started, right? Don't wait too long
Don't
to
wait
bring
too
yourself to
long.
market.
Trust.
It's the whole
Absolutely.
it's the whole has to be perfect syndrome, or otherwise it's not going to. So we're all a little scared of criticism. It's a human tendency, and so we want to make sure that that thing is absolutely perfect. And you don't want to launch a piece of junk, but you don't want to
No.
launch version 7.2 in the beginning either. Right? You got to start with
Yeah.
version 1.0 and start building from there, and you can always add stuff later. So
Exactly.
yeah. So
Exactly.
that's perfect. Yeah. So here's a question. We'll wrap up here in just a minute, but
Sure.
what do you think is one of the biggest changes that's coming to healthcare?
I feel with this whole mobile healthcare boom, um, what's really changing out there is the way the provider and the patient are communicating nowadays. I mean, you could be texting with your patient, emailing back and forth. Right now, these tablets are growing and growing and growing. The apps that are currently out on the market are getting that much more specific in terms of profession based, whether it's helpful within your healthcare industry, or any other, time management. But they're becoming so much more specific and that much better, and it's only going to improve as the years go on. And yeah, it's the relationship between the provider and the patient really now that's going to be affected, where you're always connected.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's changing the way everybody interacts. I mean, it's amazing. Like, it's just technology's certainly it's not going to replace people, but it definitely
No,
it brings them together and it helps make things more efficient. That's going to be a key piece to healthcare going forward, no
absolutely.
question.
I
So,
mean, even for example, at the hospital level, I believe 80% of doctors now currently use tablets
wow.
within their day-to-day business, whether it's note writing. Um, um, there are so many medical apps out there to reference. So yeah, I mean that's the wave of the future.
Yeah. The wave of the now too. It's like so.
Absolutely,
So Larry, thanks so much for your time today. It was a wonderful interview. We got a lot of great
absolutely.
tidbits and knowledge for our audience. If anybody out there is thinking about starting an app, we got some good pearls right here today. Let's just finish up. Tell our viewers where we can find out a little more about you, where they can contact you and get a hold of you, and learn more about what you're up to.
Sure. Thank you so much for having us, having me on the program, and it's definitely been my pleasure providing my experience, sharing my experience. You could find RehabTherX in the App Store. It's under RehabTherX, Exercises on the Go. You could even type in rehab in the search bar, and we should pop up. As well as our website, www.rehabtherx.com, or on Facebook. Like us on Facebook, and you'll get updates on future future updates for the app, and anything else within the physical therapy profession, as well as we have a YouTube video that goes over how to use RehabTheRx. So from start to finish, it's only a 2-minute video, but it basically takes you through the how-to of RehabTheRx.
Perfect, perfect. All right, Larry, thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Pleasure's all mine, John. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you everybody for watching this show. It's been a pleasure having Larry on and sharing his wisdom and his expertise as he's gone along this journey. If you want to check out anything mentioned in this interview, as always, you can go to newwavehealthcare.com/interview/Larry Gutman for all of the resources to Larry's information or any other resource mentioned during this interview today. Our next interview will be January 6th. We're going to take a little bit of a Christmas break. Going to have a little turkey and a little fun with the family. So our next interview will be January 6th. We'll be having another great discussion with another entrepreneur in the healthcare industry. So we will see you then. Have a wonderful Christmas and take care.